Hello and welcome to Now That's What I Call Slots, a series where we look into all things sound related to slot titles. Today I'm joined by Andrew Vasilyev, the game music producer and sound designer at Lady Luck Games. How are you doing today?
Hello, fine. Great to see you, James.
Before we delve into the title, which you'll explain, could you just explain a little bit about yourself and the title that we're going to be talking about today?
My name is Andrew. I am a sound designer and game music composer. I am a professional musician and I am a guitarist, professional guitarist playing in bands in a background in such music like rock music, jazz music and popular music. And when I was a child I loved metal very much. So yeah, now I am working on sounds and orchestral stuff and special effects for our fantastic studio Lady Luck Games.
I love your top, by the way, Pantera, so well played. The title that we are going to be looking at is Valholl Wild Hammers. It's a Viking theme slot. Just on how you created the sound for this, how does the music in your title fit in with the period? And what research did you conduct to help create these sounds?
The theme is based on the Scandinavian folk music, and several folk music instruments are playing there, such as goat horn, lyre, rebec, Viking drums. But as we all live in 21st century, we could not use only traditional instruments. That's why this is a mix between folk motifs, cinematic orchestral instruments, and even some modern instruments, such as electric guitar and synthesizers. It is known that we have a huge impact from Scandinavia in metal music. That's why we cannot forget about it too. During the research, there was a task to understand not only what is the sound of Viking age, but what modern people think about Vikings and their sounds. That's why different sources were used: folk music history, articles about Viking music instruments and scales, videos with some music instrument examples, and of course modern films about Vikings and Viking-themed games.
How did you develop your title for Valholl Wild Hammer?
The first one, Valholl Hall of the Slain, was already released in 2020. And this game is a continuation of the first one. So we remained graphics a bit and recomposed music for this version. Why hammers? Actually, depending on where they fall on reels, they can trigger 3 different bonus features. While lightning, convert entire reel into wilds. Locust mischiefs, converts 2 symbols into high-paid symbols or into the wilds. And pre-spins, with additional features and sticky wilds and multipliers.
You're a big fan of rock music, and there's kind of a rock vibe to this game. And just, your shirt's Pantera, it's a cool band. Like, I just want to know for yourself, show it proud, show Pantera proud. How was it creating the sound for you personally, because it was the rock genre? And what process did you go through personally while working on this sound?
I just wanted our game to stand out from other games, because everybody is making just pleasant elevator music. This the song. Every game is sounding like just wow, it is so peaceful, it is so pleasant. But I wanted our game to stand out, and also I hope that players love metal, loves rock music. That's why I just try to do my best to bring this all together. And Pantera, yes, Rip Dimebag Darrell, he was a great guitarist and a great influence for me as a guitarist and many other. Let's make it.
And that's the thing with rock and roll in this game. So when I was playing the game, when you spin the reels in the base game, there's this sense of integrating kind of an old school audio vibes. Mjolnir's lightning that's striking, and like Norse and Vikings, they're very rock and roll, they're very gritty, and I love them. What was the original intention behind the reel spin sound effect? And kind of how does this impact kind of the player's engagement with the slot?
Reel, spin and the start button actually in a slot game, this is almost the only place where player connects to the game. So he's pressing start button and he's getting response from the game. That's why these elements should be pretty readable, and even if you call them old schooly, this is not a problem, this is pretty fine, just to get response from the game. So in our case, I just was thinking about maybe this is one of the doors to Valhalla. You know, there are 540 doors to Valhalla, and maybe this our door could be something like a mechanism, or I don't know. So when we press the start button, we hear this mechanic sound, and then we hear that a huge stone is rotating. It is not it is pretty quiet, but it is there, and then all lightnings and other things are happening.
And it's these kind of sound bites which keep the players interested and engaged with the slot. So, in terms of when you were coming up with these little sounds to represent the Viking era, what was initially going through your head and kind of sounds that you wanted to include that you thought could grip the audience and keep them there playing your game?
This could be atmospheric or ambient sounds, or something from Viking Age. But for me, the first thing I wanted to ask for myself, where I am, why I am standing behind this door. And I just thought that the person, for example, Viking, is standing near this door, and I thought that he just thought about everything, good things happened in his life. And these things are rotating in his head during real spins. Everything. Maybe mother, I don't know. Maybe his childhood, or of course fighting and other. But this is somewhere far from here. Here's the door, and he's just pressing this button all the time and thinking about his past and hoping to get in. Because this is a dream for every Viking, to get into Valhalla, get drinking and battles with Valkyries and other stuff, you know?
Can you just walk us through the process of how the score, soundtrack, and kind of the sound bites are developed for Valholl to replicate that emotion?
This is not our first game about Vikings, so I had some music from previous game called Valholl Call of the Slain, released in 2020. Actually, I just opened my old template. There was plenty of melodies and good orchestration. And actually, this music is a new arrangement of a previous one. But in previous one, it was too much heavy metal, maybe.
Is there too much heavy metal?
In this game, not too much heavy metal. It is more relaxed and more for people. But also the same theme is in the base of the game. And also I tried to use the same melody already in loading, and also I put these elements in main game and in Big Win and in free games too, in free spins. The same motive. It is repeated in different variations and with different instruments. So all the time, the same melody. Simple. You will hear it if you listen to the music.
Perfect. And this is a question that I'll be asking, and I have asked every interviewee within this series. How do you think the sector can look to innovate within audio? Because for me, I feel like it's sound within slots doesn't get the attention that it deserves. I feel like it's the one key component which attracts the player instantly and also keeps them there. If your music's too repetitive, if it's too annoying, they'll leave. If it's a good, engaging soundtrack, they'll stay, they'll keep playing, they'll enjoy it. But how can the industry keep on innovating?
In our sector, for me, the only thing we can just learn from bigger titles and from AAA class games and use their technologies. As actually, this is not our goal to get the latest technologies into our game, because the prior thing is to make a game pleasant for the player. We should use old good stuff, like music composing, music composition and other things, instead of many vertical layers, for example. Technology is secondary. The main thing is the idea of the game and how it sounds and how we are representing this game for the player. Understanding the picture which is provided by artist and has a good contact with developer, this will make the best product.